Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the third edition of Cloud Conference Virtual Edition. This is the last one in this series, and if we think about it, we covered quite some topics in the past editions, from digital transformation to cloud and Azure technical session to security and so on. And we won't stop here because we still have one more edition left. So first of all, I would like to thank all our sponsors that stick with us, and they are looking forward for the main event this autumn. And for now, what I want to share with you is that we managed to take Cloud Conference to the next level, let's say. We wanted to expand, we wanted to go and outside Romanian's borders. So today is the first event when we have around 5 to 7% of participants from outside Romania, which is a lot because we didn't do anything special for that. But we are happy that the topics are interesting and people want to join us. Okay, so today our speakers are 𝗙𝗹𝗂𝗶 from Fortinet. Then we will continue with 𝗙𝗪𝗰𝘂𝗶 from 𝘙𝗪𝘂𝗁, and we will close with 𝗦𝗲𝗰𝗃𝗀𝗃 from 𝗙𝗪𝗃𝗀. Today we address cloud security and how we can improve that and take that out of our minds, let's say, with Fortinet solution. Then we will see how we can legally sign documents over HTTP, which is amazing. And in the end, 𝗦𝗲𝗰𝗃𝗀𝗃 will present a way to manage documents and also understand them using artificial intelligence. But now I'm gonna give the focus to 𝗙𝗹𝗂, and we'll begin the first session. Thank you.
Okay, hello everybody. My name is 𝗙𝗹𝗂𝗶. I'm a system engineer, a channel system engineer within Fortinet. I joined Fortinet 2 years ago, and I'm part of the team which provides support for our partners and clients within the Southeast European region. Today we are going to talk about Fortinet solutions, how we address the challenges that the clients are facing when they are using platforms, applications, services within the public cloud. So the agenda for today is just a short introduction about Fortinet. I'm going to talk about the customer needs and the challenges that they are facing, and then I'm going to present you how we address all those challenges through our Fortinet Security Fabric solutions. At the end of the session, I'm going to show you a short demo about FortiCloud workload protection solution. It's a dedicated solution for the public cloud. Okay, just a few slides about Fortinet. Fortinet, it's a company founded 20 years ago, and as you can see, we are a fast-growing company, and we reached almost 500,000 customers worldwide. And one thing to be mentioned here is that Fortinet delivers the highest number of firewalls, UTM devices around the world. Our headquarters is in Sunnyvale in the United States, and our let's say market approach is via partners. And as you can see, we have plenty of support offices, development centers, and support centers all around the world. As you probably, some of you already know, as we've been present in Gartner reports for the last 10 years, always we've been placed within the leaders area, within the Magic Quadrant, according to Gartner reports. Now the report is for network firewalls, but previously, if probably some of you knows, Gartner had two distinct reports, one for the UTM part, and we were there as leaders, and the second one was for the enterprise firewalls, and again we were a leader also in the in the Magic Quadrant. Now those reports have been unified, and again, as you can see, we are a leader. We are also having plenty of certifications from third party. One of the most representatives are those ones from the NSS labs. As you can see, we have more than almost double than some of our competitors in terms of NSS Labs recommendations for the next gen firewalling solutions, for the next generation IPS solution, for the web application firewall, SD-WAN, and so on. I'm going to talk to you today about our approach to security, which is based on Fortinet Security Fabric. This is an architectural approach in which all those areas that we are trying to cover are interconnected between them, and we are trying to help to provide a solution which is as broad as possible. So basically, we are trying to secure with our solution the wireless LAN access, the endpoint access, the network access. We want to secure the applications. We want to secure the cloud infrastructures. We want to secure all those components using plenty of devices and equipment that provides those services for those areas that I have mentioned. So there are plenty of products, as you can see. Our portfolio is very big, and I'm going to focus today on the FortiGate at the beginning, and then, as I've told you, I'm going to talk to you about the Forti cloud workload protection, and I'm also going to present you the Fortinet cloud access security broker solution. But we are covering, let's say, plenty of areas in terms of security. We have recently launched a product based on artificial intelligence. It's called FortiAI. And as some of you already know, we have those machine learning and artificial intelligence technologies already in use in our FortiWeb, our web application firewall solution, in our FortiADR endpoint solution, and also in our FortiSandbox, FortiSIEM solutions. So let me show you just a very short demo about Security Fabric, just for you to better understand what is this Security Fabric, what's basically behind those nice PowerPoints that we are always presenting during our conferences. So without this Security Fabric approach, a firewall would be like an individual device, as you can see here in this topology. And we can manage it and configure it and so on. But once we activate this Security Fabric approach within the FortiGate firewalls, which can be a virtual machine within the Azure or Amazon or Google Cloud, we have the visibility we need. We see the endpoints that are behind those firewalls, the servers, the workstations. Some of them are marked with red if those hosts are being compromised or they are facing vulnerabilities, and all those informations are basically provided to Fortinet through some telemetry protocols. And also we interconnected our FortiGate with our FortiAnalyzer. So when, let's say, a device is being compromised, we have those information within the FortiGate. If we have like a zero-day attack and at the moment of the attack, that attack was not detected, but after a few days when the attack is well known, based on analyzing the logs, we know if a host has been compromised or not. And this information is depicted in this FortiGate topology. So as you can see, we try to interconnect as many products as possible. We also provide within the FortiGate SD-WAN solutions, which are, let's say, we are seeing this technology as mandatory when we are accessing cloud solutions. We have like Office solutions in the cloud, like Salesforce, Office 365. If we cannot reach the cloud, we are out of the business. So it's critical to be able to reach the cloud, to have redundant connections, and those redundant connections can be managed through our SD-WAN capabilities within the FortiGate. And we can reroute it to the traffic through, I don't know, MPLS, VPN tunnels, and other internet connections. So as you can see, we recently introduced some additional products within the security fabric, like our mail-link solution gateway, our load balancer, our web application firewall, and so on. And we expanded this security fabric approach. As you can see here, and I'm going to skip it, we also integrate the firewalls that are being, let's say, are being installed within the cloud. So here we have like a firewall in Amazon, and you have it here integrated in the topology, and we also can see what devices are being protected behind this firewall. Now, in order to integrate as much as possible with the public and private clouds, we provided some connectors. So basically, you can see here that we have connectors for Amazon, Microsoft Azure, Google Cloud, Oracle, Ali Cloud, but we also have it for the private cloud, for VMware, 𝗙SE, OpenStack, or I don't know, Cisco ACI. So what are the benefits of those connectors with the public cloud? I'm going to briefly show it to you. So once we build a collector, let's say we have a collector with Amazon, then we are able to take all the resources that are being deployed within Amazon, to take those info within the FortiGate, and to build firewall rules not on IP addresses, but on those objects that we take through APIs from the cloud service provider. And then we can secure those cloud services and those cloud applications using those resources, those security groups, those informations that those objects that we retrieve from the public cloud. So this is, let's say, briefly how we integrate. You can see here the information that we are collecting from the public cloud, and then we use this information to secure the infrastructure. We also have a functionality that gives us the possibility to automate some of the processes. If a host is compromised, or configuration is changed, we can act for action. There are some triggers that are being defined, and for each trigger we can define some actions, and those actions can be seen very easily here. We basically, if something is happening, we can call some functions within Azure. We can use Lambda from Amazon, Google Cloud Functions. So when something is happening, we can automate some actions through those connectors. So hopefully, just a few I don't know, images from our firewall consoles gives you a better understanding of what do we mean when we talk about security fabric. And at the end, we integrate all this information, and we get this security rating, which is based on the appliances deployed, I don't know, like in the public cloud, but also on branches to the headquarter level. And the main goal is to have like a good security rating, to be on the to have everything in green, and if something is not secure, then we should secure. We can automate those remediations from the GUI. We don't necessarily need to know the command lines or the GUI interface to configure something within the FortiGate. So basically, this was just a short image to make you better understand what Security Fabric is and how we integrate this. Let's discuss a little about the customer needs and the challenges that the customers are facing, and let's see how we address this. There are few categories of types of users. So we have like the business users. They are consuming the SaaS applications like Salesforce, Office 365, Dropbox. For those users, we provide 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's our solution of cloud access security broker, which connects in each user account in Salesforce or Office 365, connects to their account, and we are basically able to see what they are sharing, if they have files with malwares or not. And also we provide the SD-WAN functionality to help them reliably access the cloud resources. There are also the network admins, the security admins who are facing different challenges, who are having different needs. They are interested in migrating their existing infrastructure in the cloud. So they need visibility. They need to see what's happening with their shared resources, with their virtual machines, with their applications. And for these users, we are providing cloud access workload protection, cloud workload protection solution. And I'm going to show it very quickly to you. I also want you to know that you can find plenty of scripts that can be used for automatic deployment in GitHub. We also have for our partners that are able to access our FNDN portal. Our certified partners, we have scripts for Terraform or Ansible, and they can also use those scripts, and they can define new ones. So those are the challenges, and one thing that I want to mention is that according to Microsoft, the client is responsible for his data, as you can see in here. But it is the same with Amazon. You can see that the customer is having plenty of responsibilities, and it's not just like we are moving in the cloud and we are not responsible. And without going into much details about this shared responsibility model, is like basically the cloud provider is authenticating the user, gives us the right to use some resources, but what's within those resources, what data is being used, it's basically our responsibility. And this is basically where Fortinet comes into place and helps you to have a better visibility within your data. So keep in mind that according to Gartner, 95% of the cloud security failures will be the customer's fault. So this is like, let's say, a prediction that those security incidents are not going to happen because of cloud providers, but because of the way the users are manipulating the data. And just few examples. Let's see how secure the data is. You see this link. This link is in Amazon. We've uploaded like a demo virus. It's not a real virus. If we access this link, then you are going to receive, like I did, I clicked now, I received a notification from my endpoint Forti client that this is a malware. So basically, what I want you to understand is that we need to control the data. Anyone can put malware within the cloud, and plenty of the architectures relying on the security groups that they develop, they configure within the Azure or within Amazon. But let's see. It's a needed security level, but just let me show just a quick demo. So we are here in a cloud provider environment. It's in Amazon, and here we have some resources. We have like an EC2 instance, and it's a server. It's let's say an SSH server. As you can see, it's having a public IP, and here it's having also defined some security groups. And if we access those security groups, those functionalities that are basically securing the cloud, you can see that the access is allowed only on port 22. So anyone from any sources should connect, is able to connect only on port 22, because we would like to secure to allow only SSH connections. But look what's happening. We are loading a web page on port 22, and as you can see, this is not an SSH traffic. This is HTTP traffic. So what we need to have control of the applications that we are using. So if some of you are familiar with FortiGate, for example, as you know that we can control the applications. We are not rely only on the port that is being used. And from our perspective as a security vendor, this is like the beginning of the security. This is something that we are doing for years. As you can see here, we are controlling the application. We do not rely on the port that is being used. And of course, we can secure the Microsoft applications, and we have thousands of predefined applications. We look at the traffic, no matter the port, and we identify that application. Either it's Microsoft, I don't know, or maybe it's, I don't know, it's like a Facebook application. And we can control, it's a very granular control of a Facebook application. We can, I don't know, block the post functionality within Facebook. So this is basically some of the challenges and that the customers are facing in terms of security, and we provide plenty of equipment for Amazon, Azure, Oracle, Google Cloud, Alibaba. We provide FortiGate in the cloud with different types of licensing, bring your license or pay as you grow, or FortiMail to secure your email, FortiWeb, you can deploy it in the cloud to secure your infrastructure, FortiSandbox. I'm going to present you FortiCloud Workload Protection. It's a solution as a software as a service provided directly by Fortinet. So it's not applicable, it doesn't run within the public cloud, but we manage the public cloud with cloud workload protection. And we have FortiManager and Analyzer and FortiSIEM that can manage our cloud infrastructure. FortiAnalyzer if you have Fortinet products, but if you have third-party devices, you can use FortiSIEM, our system event and event management solution. I'm not going to go into many details. We have a native integration with FortiGate. We can auto-scale. And during this pandemic, there were clients who needed plenty of remote access to their resources. And there was a big pressure to have multiple VPN connections. And some of the clients quickly deployed like a FortiGate firewall in the cloud. They are able to rapidly scale because they are in the cloud, and all those client-to-site connections are closed with the firewall instance that is installed in the public cloud. And from that public cloud, they made a single VPN tunnel to their headquarters. So this way, they were able to scale and to provide their clients plenty of SSL VPN connections, remote connections, as this was a major issue during this difficult time that we are facing with this virus. So let me show you the FortiCloud Workload Protection. It's a solution that connects to Google Cloud, to Azure, to Amazon through APIs, and helps you manage the infrastructure and gives you visibility, gives you automation and remediations, and gives you the possibility to run reports, compliance and discovery reports. And let me show you briefly the interface. It's a web-based interface. You connect to our portal, our Fortinet One portal, where you can access all our cloud solutions. And as you can see in here on the dashboard, we have like information about the public clouds that we are connecting, like Amazon, like Azure, like Google Cloud, and we have information about the virtual machines that have been deployed, if some of them have critical events, if we have like botnet attacks around our Google Cloud, Azure, or Amazon deployments. And also we have information like about exposure of the storage, if it's publicly available, information about the malware and about the DLP and so on. So let me show you just a few use cases. Let's select like a resource in the public cloud. Here it's a resource like a S3 bucket. It's like like a storage we have in Amazon, and as you can see, this we have a security alert as critical because we defined the rule, a policy rule, that our S3 bucket should not be publicly editable, and this one is editable, and someone could write something. Someone could put data in it, and this rule is enabled and we receive the alert. But if we also enable the auto fix, we don't need to connect to Amazon to fix this. We can do it through our cloud workload protection portal, and this can be automatically fixed. But you can also do it manually, and you have the recommendations about how to do that. We have this remediation section, and within this remediation section, you are able to see the steps that just one second. You are able to see the steps that you need to perform in order to secure your S3 buckets. So this was a simple example about a resource in the public cloud, the way we secure that that resource. Okay, let's see when we analyze this resource. Let's see if we have malware within a resource. Okay, we have this S3 bucket, and we can see what data we are storing there, and we can select only the data that contains malware. And we have those JavaScript files that contains malware, and we can access that file, and we can look on this file and to watch the activity. Who uploaded the file? Who accessed the file? Who modified the file? And what policies have been violated? And in our case, it's a data pattern. It's an antivirus scan that raised an alarm that there is a malware. So now we know who uploaded the malware within our S3 bucket. So we have this information, and we can investigate this further on. So another thing that we can do besides analyzing the files, we can analyze the traffic. You saw that we have like reports about a botnet connection, and we are basically able to select like an alert about this, and we can look at this suspicious instance involved in the botnet activity. It's again, it's an EC2 instance. And if we go and analyze this alert, you can see in here that automatically, without like the admin to configure anything, we received information about the EC2 instance, about the virtual machine, that it's communicating with a suspicious IP. It's communicating with the bot, with the bot, and we have additional information about this AC2 instance. We have the private IP address, the public IP address, and we have information about the security group that is protecting this virtual machine. We have information about the VPC, the root table, the availability zone, the network access control, and so on. So we have plenty of information about the resource that is involved in this suspicious communication. And as you can see in here, we have an inbound connection and an outbound connections that are suspicious. And we can mouse over the inbound connection about this suspicious instance, and we can have additional information about the traffic. We can see in here the destination. We have the source IP and the source port of our AC2 instance, packet data, but also if we click on this little icon, we can get information about this botnet connection, about the IP address of that suspicious website. And we can see that it's a suspicious website. It's a suspicious IP. And we have additional information through our 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 team when we analyze this. We can drill down to resource detail, as you can see in here, and we can look at the activity in which this resource have been involved. And we can see that this virtual machine, someone modified the network interface, some network interface attributes, for example. And we can drill down within the activity, and we can find out who modified that network security attributes. And we can see that it's Alan from Brazil, but this is suspicious because we have the info in our system that Alan is from California. So this access from Alan, it's suspicious. Someone could have stolen his credentials, and now he's doing modification with our public cloud infrastructure related to settings and configuration. And we can further analyze this, and we can look when he created this, when he modified it. So I have the data when he made this modifications, those changes. So basically, what we can do further on, we can see when he made those modifications, and we can compare those changes that have been done within our public cloud infrastructure. And you can see in here that I know this group name was modified, allow all traffic. So this is the difference between the initial configuration and the actual one. So we basically know and we have visibility about what happened within our public cloud infrastructure and what have been modified. We also give visibility. Is not just you saw it here that this is a table view, okay? And we can select, we can search for critical events, for threats, for different assets, resources that we have in here in our public cloud. But we can also change the table view to map view. And in map view, we can see our Azure resources in the public cloud, our Amazon resources in the public cloud, our Google Cloud resources. All are being graphically depicted in here. And we can also present the instances who is communicating with who. And you can see here we have some VPN tunnels. And if we select this connection, we can see more information about those VPN tunnels. And then we can drill down. We can look into a specific I don't know, account. I don't know, here it's within Amazon, and we can see who is communicating with who. And all those informations are being graphically depicted. And as you can see in here, everything is very, very easy to manage and view. And gives us a visibility that we don't have by default. Okay, so this was what I wanted to show you. And because we are going to be present to our feature session in September, I'm going to present you some more information in September about 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗂𝗏, Cloud Access Security Broker. It's a solution in which we connect directly to software as a service solutions, to Salesforce or Office 365. And again, we have the same level of visibility, who modified something within Office 365 or in Salesforce or in Dropbox, and so on. And we have a high level of visibility, and we can automate some of the processes. And also in September, I'm going to talk to you about SD-WAN, because it's critical for the branches to reach the public cloud or the private cloud solution. And with these digital transformations, the architectures have been changed now, and we have multiple connections, and we can help our clients to reach those public cloud infrastructures through SD-WAN, through IPsec VPN connections, and to reliably access all their resources. But about those functionalities, I'm going to talk to you more in detail in September. Thank you very much for attending this session. I had to very quickly show you plenty of things, because we had such a short time frame, only 30 minutes. So hopefully it was a useful session for you. Thank you very much. And if you have questions, please let me know. We can, I don't know, some of them address them now during the break, and if not, we will come back to you with the clarifications after this event through email. Thank you again.
Hi guys, I don't know if you can hear me very well. Usually I'm trying to do the presentation in a different manner than I'm doing now. In the beginning, I would like to congratulate 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. He had a very strong point regarding the Fortinet technologies. 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 is recommended also such technologies because actually we are using in our environment the Fortinet, and also in conjunction with different business opportunities when we need to protect the network perimeter and so on. And I found very useful information today from 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, and thanks again. Moving back to 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏, moving back to the topic that I would like to highlight today, it's a story actually, because you know, when we are talking about business and we are talking about the documents that we are you know, producing in our business processes. Actually, the main idea is that we are very, let's say, primitive in this moment. Why? Because usually a business scenario looks like opening a Word document. We are writing down a contract or something like this. And after that, we are printing that specific contract. After that, we are signing like holographic signature. After that, we are calling the secretary to put that contract to the courier in order to be signed by the second party of the contract. And guess what? Those guys are doing the same. And in the end, actually, there are 2 copies, maybe 3, I don't know, which are going into archive. But in order to be able to access that specific information mentioned into the contract for audit purposes or, I don't know, different kind of things like this, usually we are making an OCR of the document in order to have the metadata associated and to be easier to find when needed. So basically, we are static. Why? Because we are cutting the trees. We are looking forward to spend resources, money, and time. Time is actually the only one resource that cannot be bought. And in this perspective, 𝗙𝗪𝘀 said we need to change the rules of the game. We need to be able to create actually the 100% digital business. Let's have a very short overview for those one who do not know very well 𝗙𝗪𝘀. Who is 𝗙𝗪𝘀? 𝗙𝗪𝘀 has, let's say, overall, I think over 20 years experience in cryptography and in public infrastructures, and also in the card management projects. The main and the most important aspect for today is the qualification of 𝗙𝗪𝘀 as being a qualified trusted service provider, which means that we have our technologies, first of all, certified and accredited to be used in conjunction with the European Union regulation. This is actually eIDAS, which implements the recognition of the digital signatures between countries, and the law, actually can be will recognize actually the persecutors and so on, and jurisdiction, and all the courts are recognizing this type of signature. Digital signatures on electronic documents. So basically, this regulation actually implements within the European Union territory this way that the courts of justice will recognize the signatures applied to a contract in a digital way. Of course, I don't know if many of you already know that 𝗙𝗪𝘀 it's present everywhere. Everywhere in our, let's say, IT world, because when we are talking about browsers, we are talking about also roots. So basically, the 𝗙𝗪𝘀 root of the CA is present and recognized by all the browsers in all operating systems, even mobile devices. So basically, we are everywhere, but nobody knows, unfortunately. This allows us actually all the certificates to be automatically recognized as being trusted. So this will be very useful in terms of different business scenarios that we are using digital certificates, even if we are doing authentication purposes, digital signature, I don't know, encryption, and so on. Another important aspect regarding 𝗙𝗪𝘀, it's actually the NATO approved PKI applications. Actually, this means that in the last years, we developed a lot of new technologies, and some of them are certified at the confidential level and listed in the NATO Information Assurance Product Catalog, which allow us actually to use and to, I don't know, to use, let's say, to implement such projects in NATO state members countries. Also, we have different capabilities for Security Operations Center and cybersecurity services that we are offering to our customers. And in this area is also a part of my activity, which is related to the mobile environment. The next thing that I would like to highlight when we are talking about 𝗙𝗧, it's on the right. That means that we are present in around 20 countries. Okay, maybe you expect to see very big names, but we are starting with Albania, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Denmark, Finland. But the list is growing, and the number of countries is increasing. And in all these projects, we are using 100% 𝗙𝗧 developed technologies and also professional services. In the left, you will see not very accurate, but because the numbers are higher right now at the moment that we have discussed. But we can discuss about, let's say, the health insurance cards, which are almost expired, and you probably already know. But we made, let's say, in advance, we understood that it will be a moment when the cards will expire, and you know, the state government will not be able to renew them. So in this perspective, we take into consideration to extend from the beginning the period of the validity of the certificates held in the health insurance cards, which means 5 years. And in this perspective, and in this respect, during the pandemic crisis, actually, the citizens were able to use the cards, even if the situation permit to not use them. So basically, the card is expired, but the certificate, which is used for the authentication of the user, is it's currently available. So there is another important thing that there are more than 1 million people which are using qualified certificates for digitally signing documents, for submitting declarations to the financial institutes and so on. There are also projects for electronic identity, which are somehow around the cards. I don't know if you are familiar, but there are some cards which are holding a chip inside of them. It's like ID card, but the chip is holding actually a digital certificate with some information regarding the user. The turnover is increasing year by year, and what you need to know is that most of the more than 80% of the total turnover is coming from our products and our services. In terms of employees and expansion within the country, right now we are taking into consideration to cover actually the major cities with the local support teams and sales teams. Currently, we have a local presence in Constanța, in Iași, in Cluj, in Timișoara, and also in Craiova, the headquarters being in Bucharest. Okay, it's good to know that 𝗙𝗧 is 100% a Romanian company, and 𝗙𝗧 is becoming more and more an important actor in big projects in Europe regarding the digital certificates and this type of services. So when we are talking about the qualified trusted service provider, means that you are an entity accredited and certified to deliver such services for the market according with eIDAS regulation, which means that you are able to issue digital certificates which are qualified in order to apply the electronic signature, like electronic seal, like website authentication, This is the SSL certificates, more familiar for you. And also there are other services very interesting to take into consideration is regarding the timestamp. This is a service that can be used in conjunction with electronic invoices, for instance, or contracts, or I don't know, this type of documents which are very relevant when we are applying qualified timestamp on the documents, besides also the signatures. And the last but not least topic is the remote signature, remote electronic signature. This is actually the subject that we will address today. So in order to summarize that, the qualified trusted service provider means that our company, it's able to issue those kind of services related to the digital certificates all over the Europe, and have the capability, technical capability to implement different projects in terms of paperless business. Also, in the beginning, I said that I presented actually business scenario when we are using physical paper, static one. Okay, but all the processes in terms of business resides in documents. I don't know if you agree with me, but sooner or later, if you will have a deep look regarding all the processes, you will see that you have a deliverable, and also this means a document, something like this. And because we are talking about the end of the process, which means that we are talking about the document which have all the signatures and is producing actually the effects, the juridical effects. Also, we need to archive that specific document. And in this perspective, you need to know that 𝘙𝗪 is also accredited in order to deliver physical archiving services and also electronic archiving services. And in this perspective, we can say that we can cover 100% business process, which is taking into consideration, a digitalization of the signatures applied to different documents in the current day-to-day business, and also to archive such documents, which means a big cost reduction, because all the time involved in this process, and also the cost of the physical archiving during the period of time will be eliminated, which means a higher total cost, return of investment, and a lower total cost ownership. Today, I would like to talk about two solutions that we developed. First of all, 𝘙𝗪 accept the challenge that change the paradigm of the digital signature. How? Because right now, in order to have a qualified digital signature, you used to have in your hand a physical token to put it in the laptop, to install some drivers, and that's it. And it is for non-technical guys a bit difficult and also limited to one operating system, which is Windows. So we said, okay, we need to have a solution to this. We need to change the paradigm. We need to be able to deliver this type of service in a different manner. And that's why we take into consideration to have the cloud, the cloud technology, web-based, in order to be able to sign for all over the places, wherever you are, the documents, and to make it easy. And in this perspective, both of the solutions that we developed, the WebSign and the FlowSign, are certified at the European Union level for remote qualified electronic signature. And this means that we have the QSCD, which means that we have, the qualified signature. Actually, this means that guarantees the highest levels of the security level, and also this is is based on a certification issued by a very important player in terms of audit. This is ACIT from Austria, which make a very deep audit within our premises. So in order to summarize, those technologies are available on laptop, mobile devices, actually on any platform because they are web-based. And if we're talking about the business verticals suitable for such technology, we can address, let's say, the banking system, the retails, the telco operators, utilities, and actually, I think that it's very hard to create, a limit for such technologies because it can be used anywhere, even in public sector, especially there. Okay, so right now, when we said that the time is the only thing we cannot, going back, let's say, we cannot going back in time. That means we need to be efficient and we need to be fast enough in order to produce, the impact and the effect that most of the customers are looking for. So as you can see, we try to make it simple. The step one is the enrollment. The second two is to sign the document. And the step three, of course, is sending the document, not via courier, but via an email or other carriers available. I don't know, maybe can be also cloud repositories or other things. So in this perspective, WebSign is a solution for a user that is interested to sign in a browser. Different document, can be one document or multiple documents, and to download after that the document signed and to deliver to the interested parties over other channels. So it's very simple to upload, sign, download. What is happening with the document? It's automatically erased after the download. So basically, if you are trying to search backwards to find the document, you will not be able to see it because it's a mechanism that we are eliminating all the uploads once they are downloaded. Okay, so moving forward, because the WebSign is addressing most of the needs related to one user. The FlowSign is actually a mechanism that is creating a flow with multiple signatures. Is actually you are defining as initiator the flow of the process, and in this means that you can define who will be the parties involved. You can define where the signatures can be applied to the contract, to the paper, digital paper, I say, to the document. And after that, also to introduce the email addresses in order to facilitate, the information of the user. So let's see what it means. So first of all, we have our own technology like WebSign and FlowSign, but we also have APIs. Most of the project in the last period of time during COVID-19 are coming for this slide from the customers which are already having implemented some document management solutions like ERP, also ERPs, or harsher management or web portals, and also in those technologies that they have, they are looking forward to put this integration for the digital signature in order to create also, the legal value, let's say, for the digital processes implemented. So basically, we are open and we have all the knowledge needed in order to implement such type of projects on the customer premises with minimum, investment, because we are not replacing what exists. We develop actually an integration with what customer already have, and to facilitate also the migration to this digital signing processes. Okay, we prepared also some demos. I think I have another 10 minutes for this, and let's say how difficult it will be to have a new tab. Here, I do recommend you to enter the web sign. Of course, you need to introduce some credentials. My credentials for this. This is not a demo environment. This is the production site. So actually, what I'm doing right now, it's already available for all the customers. Here is a section that I can upload one or multiple files. I will show you right now. This is one of the documents. Just a second. Okay, this is, I think this one. This is a contract. Okay. Okay, so basically I have two documents right now that I need to sign in order to receive an SSL certificate. So what I should do, I should click on continue. And here I'm able to see, the contract, how it looks like, which are the clauses and so on. And you see here I have, this is in Romania, I think it's not an issue for you, but you need to see that this is the signature placeholder for the document. So basically, because I'm the beneficiary in my role right now, I would like to sign the contract. So basically what I'm doing, I'm putting like a, geometric here place where the signature will appear. And I will have a look also to the second one. Wow, it looks like, SSL request something. Okay, I would like to sign also this one. So basically, I put two documents and I'll press continue. And right now, you'll be able to see something very interesting, but I need to show you on my screen. I'm using a Microsoft technology. You see, this is Microsoft. And I'm using Microsoft Authenticator, and here it's 𝗙𝗪cie paperless. Actually, all the technologies that I will use today are using the same mechanism as a two-factor authentication. And this is actually the code. It's random generated. It's 339537. And now I'm authorizing the signature using this code. Okay, so okay, just a second to see what is going on. It's not. Okay, the code was expired. This was, because this is available for certain seconds and was expired. So after I sign the documents, I have the capability to download, and now you'll see on my desk. Okay, or in the download area, I think. Okay, in the download area. This is not one. Okay. Where is it? It's here. Okay. Oh, it's okay. It's here. Extract all. Why I'm doing this, because I would like to show you what happened with the document. Okay, so this is with 𝗙𝗪cie𝗶𝘶. Okay. Oh, I get scared. I saw Diana. Okay. Well, all the signatures are valid. Let's say where the signature is placed. I think it's placed on the beneficiary. This is what I did previously, right? Let me show you. Where? Up. Down. Look, that's it. Very interesting. This is actually the hour, the timestamp. The timestamp is also a qualified timestamp applied with to the document, and all the signatures are valid. If you are looking to see the signature properties, you will see that this is an eIDAS qualified signature applied to the document. Okay, so interesting. Good. So this was about web sign. Let's move forward to the flow sign, and after that I will show you the new future token. Okay, so if you are willing to access the flow sign, it's simple. It's like web sign. You are writing down flow sign, and that's it. And right now you need to authenticate. I will use the same credentials because it's a bundle of the solutions that we are having right now. And let me show you how simple it is for me to define a new flow. Let's say a signature flow that I would like to involve some of my colleagues or even customers, depends. So first of all, I would say SSL contract. This is the template that I will use. Good. I defined the name. Now I should enter. Just a second to put it down. Okay. Now I need to choose the files, the file or the files. I can add multiple files or only one single file. Right now I'm trying to add only the contract. Okay, this is the contract that I accessed already. And right now I'm putting next, and I need to introduce the email address. This is mine because I need to sign the contract. I'll add also a mail of my colleague, or I can add multiple signers. I have also the right I can set the right for a supervisor that can monitor all the signatures applied to the contract. But right now I'm using only the signer, let's say, perspective, because we need to be the two guys involved in the signature process in order to validate the contract. So right now, as you saw in the second screen, you are able to see the contract, the one that I used previously, and you can see here that I have a beneficiary and the company that is doing the service, and I would like to place to put the signature placeholder, which will be this one for 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗂𝗏. And if I'm putting also Dragos as here, actually the digital signature will appear in the place that I selected. This is very useful because most of the documents right now are coming from the physical paper templates, and at the end of the documents, the holographic signature should appear. And in order to keep the same user experience, we create this capability to place the signatures on the document. And I'm clicking next. Right now, you can define an invitation, and I do not want to have here some. I do not want to waste time because we do not have much time. And I would like only to show you how it works. So I'm clicking next, and now I'm starting the signature flow. And right now, actually, the guys should receive, the invitation to sign the contract. This is actually my email. They should receive. Oh, it's disconnected. Okay. This means that I have some network issues with the email. Let me
Alex,
check.
I think it's also important to add that the order of the signatures is the one you defined in the flow. So Alex has to be the first person that signs the document, and I have to be the second one. I will not receive a prompt to sign the document only after Alex signs it first.
Yeah, actually, you see, I'm using the Fortinet client. Okay, and I will try to connect to the user sign. I think it's an issue here with the connectivity. Oh, actually, this was the issue. I'm using digital certificates in order to authenticate to the VPN, and I need to allow the usage of the keys. I select this for security reasons. Okay, so basically I will connect to the search sign, I will synchronize, I will sign the document, and after that you will see what will happen. Okay. Okay. 98%. Okay, it's connected. Now I'm synchronizing. As you can see, we are exposing the email only through the VPN. So basically, it's not publishing in the internet. Okay. Good. As you can see here, we have here the document and the invitation to sign. So basically, if I previously, you saw that I had a space where you can create particular information like, private message or something. Please sign my, I don't know, contract, I don't know. And when we are clicking here, actually right now, we are in the position to see the contract and to sign it. Right now, I was logged as a customer, as a beneficiary, and all I have to do is to click this, that I read all the terms and conditions and the contract, and also to introduce a new let's wait a bit in order to receive a new code from Microsoft Authenticator. Let's have a look. This is 30 seconds. This is the code. Okay, I don't know if you can see it clear, but I will put it. Okay. Good. So the process from my side is closed. Right now, the process is on Drago's side. He needs to sign also the document in order to finalize the flow.
Yeah, so basically I get the same email that I'm invited to sign this document. So actually I have to take the same steps as Alex did previous.
Okay. Can you do it right now?
Yes.
Can you do it right now, Dragos?
Of course.
Okay. This is the confirmation that Alexandra already signed the contract. You see, this is the notification email that I received.
Okay, so I successfully signed the document.
Yeah, okay, and the flow was completed. So what I should see right now is that I'm able to download the SSL contract zip, which will include the file which was signed by both of us, me and Dragos. Let's have a look. Okay, I should extract it first. Let me try to do it. This one. Extract files. Okay. And right now, here. And let's open this file and see if it's signed or not. Okay. All signatures are valid. Seriously, let's see who signed the contract. I see the contract was signed by Dragos and Alex. You see the signatures that I defined when I draw the signature placeholders. And now I will have a look to the signature. You are able to see the details of the signatures applied. What will happen if I will put, let's say, something after the digital signature were applied? Let's say I'll put a timestamp, or I don't know. Let me try to alter this document somehow, because I'm looking forward to do some, I don't know, things here. Okay. when I will save this file. Just a second. The signature will be alterated. You see,
They are already in pending validation.
Yeah, in pending validation, but because I modified, the document which was previously signed, automatically I was searching for a stamp here, and I think I'm not able to find it right now, so it doesn't matter. The most important thing that I was trying to this one. I was trying to show you is this that I will stamp approve, let's say. Clear. Okay, good, perfect. Okay, and I think it's open as a read-only, and that's why I'm not able to do it. To save it, actually. Okay, and export file. We'll create a PDF file. It should be able to save it. Save as. Doesn't matter. I'm moving back. The thing important here in this area is that if you are modifying a document which was already signed by the parties, all the signatures will be automatically invalidated. So this is what I was trying to do. I don't know why it's not working with this. I think timestamp. This stamp like validated or approved or something, because I'm not allowed. Now I'm able to. Okay. You saw this is an issue which is not related to our technology. I think it's something happened with Adobe.
Alex, Diana is saying to us that they have another presentation in 2 minutes.
Okay, just a second. This is the lesson that I would like to highlight. So basically, I'm saving the document modified after it was signed, and we will see what will happen. Okay. Just a second, please. This is the document which was modified after I signed. So imagine that this is a contract, or this is I don't know, an invoice, and somebody wants to modify the bank accounts like this in order to receive money. And when I'm looking here, this is the value and the power of the digital signature, because if I'm clicking here and I would like to see what is going on with this certificate, you see that a stamp was applied to the document, and this was, and also the highlight that I applied to the document, and this modified, these were actually the changes made it on the document after the document was signed by the parties. And this is the information that Adobe is highlighting, and I will be able to know what was modified. Yeah, so imagine if I'm changing the bank account, the party that should pay the amount of money in a fake account will get notice about these changes. So it's important and relevant, we think, to understand, the idea. Thank you very much for today. If you have questions, please let us know, and we will be more than happy to answer.
Thank you.
Yes. So ready to go. This is the third session of the virtual edition, not the third virtual edition of Cloud Conference. Very glad to be part of it. We're going to talk in the next 30 minutes or so about doing documents understanding using artificial intelligence. We're going to explain why artificial intelligence is useful for understanding documents, why just not OCR, for example. And we're going to see 2-3 different ways to do that. We're going to discuss about them. My name is Mihai. I'm the general manager of 𝗙𝗹𝘂𝗶𝘁𝗵. We do a lot of work around the Microsoft Cloud. We do software development, we do consulting with Azure, with Microsoft 365. We do some AI work as well. I'm a Microsoft MVP, most valuable professional on Azure, and a Microsoft Regional Director. I do not work for Microsoft, but I'm in contact with the product teams and the business people who design their strategy with the cloud technologies. And in my spare time, I also work in the community to organize and speak at technical conferences. Okay, so my background is software development, cloud consulting, cloud AI. And based on that, I'm going to talk in the next 30 minutes or so about understanding documents. Just a short introduction or just a bit of a context before I start. In my personal opinion, in general, I think that we tend to overestimate the power of technology when it's new in short term, and we tend to underestimate its power for what it can do in the long term. So again, in my opinion, Azure has crossed the chasm, is in the second category now, has proven its usefulness. It's much more useful than people think today. I still think that AI, on the other hand, is in the first category. We tend to overestimate its power today. So this is just a bit of a context I want us to have before moving ahead. Talking about the context, because many of the examples I showed today are done by Microsoft. So we're talking about Microsoft technology. It's fair to say that they do a lot of AI work and they consume AI in their own services. Just a few examples I listed here on this slide. The one that I personally like is the way they predict hardware failures in their data centers using machine learning. It's just one very simple, simplistic example. They do a lot of work. They do their own research. They have their own products. And we're going to talk about such or some of those products in a few minutes. Just to particularize the context for AI, and just before moving into forms recognition, documents understanding, maybe it's better for us to understand what artificial intelligence is, what are its flavors, its different options, because then we'll better understand where form recognition, documents understanding fits better, right? So first of all, AI is just, mimicking human behavior, computers which do that. There are many options to do it. How do we get from data, from information to efficiency, to profit? Option number one is pre-built AI. And this is the main category we're going to see today. So products already built by vendors like Microsoft, like Google, like AWS, like UiPath, like others. So large organizations who have built their own products, they have their own algorithms, their own code, which they have written. And we use those products usually in a software as a service manner, or we install them on premises if we have to have more pain in doing so. So pre-built AI, existing products, that's option number one. And here I see cognitive services, that's what Microsoft does. They have extended their product catalog a lot. They have 5 different categories: decision-making, language, speech, vision, and web search, respectively, with lots of services. And they're, expanding this all the time. Form recognition, form recognizer, that's the name they use for their product or their version of documents understanding, falls under the vision, computer vision category. But again, it's ever evolving. A few months ago, we had as a separate product OCR, Now, my understanding is that it has been embedded in Form Recognizer. So all of these are pre-existing products. You just use them, usually from the portal, from the Azure portal. You can use them directly in the portal, or you can use them programmatically via an API. But you don't have to build your own algorithms. Option number 2 is using some pre-built AI, meaning existing algorithms. You customize them for your own data. You train your own model. You don't redesign an algorithm. You don't write code, but you can customize it. And all these products that I showed you, or many of them, not all of them, but many of them allow us to customize them. And by customization, we mean you upload your own data, you build your own taxonomy, meaning you tell the machine learning model what to expect, what kind of data to find in your data, right? And then you can export those customized, those trained models, export them in different formats, so you can use them on different platforms. Examples would be TensorFlow for Android or CoreML for iOS, Onyx, which is one of the standards backed up by Microsoft. So different ways to use those custom models. And third option is you do your own custom AI. And here again, we have multiple flavors. You can use tools like Machine Learning Studio, if we talk about Microsoft, where you actually choose from a list, from a library of existing algorithms, but you can customize them. You can write your own code, your Python code or R code to customize those algorithms. So you are very, let's say, flexible in what those algorithms do in the end. So that's flavor number 1 of option 3. There's another flavor, which is doing your own algorithm from scratch, building your own deep neural network. You write your own Python code, etc., etc. So this is just as a bit of a context. We don't want to pursue this line of thinking too much. When we talk about documents understanding or understanding documents, we have to say that usually we talk about the first option that we have seen, pre-existing products, and I'll explain why. Now, why do we care about using computers, using AI to do documents understanding? I think it's pretty obvious. There are lots of documents in a paper format or in physical format. Many companies, many businesses have a lot of processes that are documents based. Even if they are digitalized, they still have documents. There's a lot of data in those documents. Let's say there are PDF files that you create with an app, with an invoicing system. You have your PDF invoices. As an example, that data in those PDF files has to go into other systems as well, into other applications, right? So there's a real need to parse, to understand those documents, to get the relevant data out of them, and to use it for reporting or for other means. Without any AI, how do we do it today? How do we do document understanding? It's basically human-based. You have somebody who goes through the documents and copy-pastes the data or does some kind of work. It could be RPA as well. But when it comes to human understanding of documents, that's of course very costly and very error-prone. So we want to avoid that. Now, going deeper into or further, how do we do documents understanding? First, we have to mention that we've had OCR for many years, right? So we've been able to scan documents and understand them with a pretty good confidence level, more than 90%, maybe close to 98, 99% sometimes, depending on the scanner, on the software. So if we have OCR, why do we care about forms recognizer or document understanding or AI in general? Well, the reason is because computers have evolved and algorithms have evolved so much. We have much better precision because of deep neural networks. And that's not our job to do. Usually we don't do our own, let's say, DNN, deep neural network or algorithm, AI algorithm to do documents understanding, unless it is a very niche narrow case where we might need something very custom, usually we rely on the big vendors like Microsoft, like the others that I mentioned. They have built their own tools, their own products based on a lot of machine learning, and we simply use them. Now, hardware has advanced so much, and the whole, mentality of delivering software has also evolved so much, because today, not only we can benefit of the power of their processing behind the machine learning model training, which they possess, but also the capability of them to serve these products in a software as a service manner, right? OCR has another limitation usually, because it's very useful for getting, text out of a document, a scanned document. But how about you have some forms, you have some tables, and you have some, documents which are not just text. You have to also understand not just the text, but maybe you have some text which represents something specific, like the customer and customer name pair, like the account and account number pair. Those would be some key value pairs that signify something much more than just text, right? Tables is another very good example. So that's another reason for doing documents understanding or form recognition on top of OCR. And also sometimes you have your own taxonomy, meaning in a document which has a lot of labels and values, you are particularly interested in some labels that represent the taxonomy that you have defined. So in a form, I want to know from an invoice, I want to know the bank account, the name of the customer, the total value. Those things, those labels will represent the taxonomy that I'm interested in. And I can specify it to the training model that I train, to the model that I train with my own data and my own taxonomy, that these are the particular labels, elements that I want him to recognize out of documents. So it's not just recognizing text, it's not just recognizing pairs of labels and data, but we can specify that some of those labels represent the labels that I'm interested in. And of course, as I mentioned before, most of the time in these scenarios, we can rely on the vendors because they have option number one here, off-the-shelf products with decent performance. That's one variant. We're going to see it. An example is Microsoft Power Automate. It has a lot of limitations as well, but it's good in some scenarios. Then the number two option to use document understanding from such vendors is as a service, right? And in this category, we would see form recognizer or UiPath document understanding, just to give some examples that we've seen. And here, as opposed to Microsoft Power Automate, you have much better customization capabilities. It's not just a product which is usually designed in the first place for the name Microsoft uses citizen developers, so people who have not developed software development skills, right? The second category is for developers, for people who have IT training. They're much more flexible with much more customization capabilities. And so on and so forth. So we have different flavors, different categories of such products. How do we use document understanding? Of course, understanding documents is just part of a larger flow. It's part of a business process usually. It could be a flow designed with a logic like Logic Apps in Azure or Microsoft Flow, or it could be RPA, robotic process automation. And usually, because we don't have 100% accuracy, so however we train our models and we specify the taxonomy and what they're expected to find, most of the time they won't be able to get 100% accuracy. Meaning a recommended approach is to still have the human in the loop. So you have your own flow or whatever it is, something automated, but when it fails to recognize the data that you expect, and of course you can have such an output which is identified as undefined, right? Identified as invalid, then you can raise an exception in your flow and have somebody intervene. Usually it should be 5, 10 or less % of the cases. So 90+% of the time, probably the flow is going to go automatically, and sometimes you have the need of human intervention. Now let's look at such technologies and demo number 1, which is not really a full demo. I'm just showing you how it goes. I'm using Microsoft Power Automate. So you should be able to see my portal right now, my Office 365. Let me make sure that I have the zooming tool enabled. Now I do. So I'm logged into my account. I'm in Power Automate. That's part of Office 365 or Microsoft 365. I have already defined a model. It's called Available Invoices. I won't go through the process of doing so, of doing this training. It's pretty easy. You simply create a new model, and then you have to upload at least 5 documents which have the same structure. And this product will be able to identify some labels on the form that forms that you specified. So these are the selected fields it was able to identify. Okay, and now this model, which was trained, can be used in a flow or in an application. And here is an example of Microsoft Flow. So this flow has run in the past days a few times, so it's still working. It's valid, even if it's just a demo. And the flow that I'm using, the use case would be, I want to do something with the new invoices that we sent out. Let's say capture those information and put into an Excel file or send via Teams. Doesn't really matter what I do with them. So I'll, based on a recurring pattern, every now and then I would choose a library in SharePoint where we keep our documents. I would do some filters. I'm interested only in the most recent, let's say. And then I would get each file, and this is the interesting part. If you see this block called predict, this is the machine learning model that I have trained for myself. It's called Available Invoices. That's part of Power Automate. So I trained my model, and then I see it as an artifact in Microsoft Flow, in my own subscription. I'm able to use it in such a flow. It gets inputs, as an input, a document. I need to specify its format. And as an output, and that's very cool, it gives me strongly typed values. I see these variables, client value, total general value, and currency value, which all come from the definition of the model. So the model automatically was able to identify these labels on the documents, and the output of a model when it's supplied a document would be strongly typed values, meaning variables with these names and the value whatever they found in the document. Now that's pretty cool. It's a flow which posts onto a Teams channel. Nothing really special. The very good thing is that it's very easy to use this approach, Power Automate. The not so good thing is that it's lacking customization. It's very hard to do instrumentation or debugging. It's not the tool for complex cases. It's an easy tool for simple cases. Right? Now let's go further. Actually, another demo. So I'm going back to the browser. And here I'm using something a bit more complex. Now let's go back to the slides just before we dig in. This is a bit more complex with much more customization if you want. So the centerpiece is the Microsoft Logic app, which is something like Flow, but much more customizable. So it's a Flow engine with a designer and with lots of connectors. So the possibility to connect with different apps, different services automatically without writing code. I want to have some logic apps. Actually, there will be 2. One of them is triggered by a button. So I have integrated in Teams, Microsoft Teams, as a custom app, for a user to, for example, get the latest, the information out of the latest invoices. They supply the latest or the index name after which they want this information to be supplied. They trigger the button, which triggers the logic app. And then what does it do? It will look into the SharePoint library for those documents. Each and every one will be submitted to a model, which we haven't seen yet. So this is another model, not the one that we have seen previously. It's much more custom. And it's based on Form Recognizer in Azure. That model will get me back some data, which was found in the documents, and then I do something with the data, which is add to an Excel file and post on a Teams channel. So that's one way to trigger the logic app. The other one is based on a schedule. Actually, there are two different logic apps. I'm going to show you one of them. Doesn't really matter which one. They're pretty much, no, they're not quite identical. Let me go to the more complex. So this would be the logic app, which is triggered by the Teams button, the Teams app button, right? So from Microsoft Teams, a user would click a button, and then this flow, this logic app is triggered because an HTTP request has been received to a certain URL. Then I have some, logic which needs to be done here, some filters, etc., some initializations. Then I get the files that I'm interested in, which are invoices from our invoicing library. Then we do some filters, and then we do two interesting things. The first one is we need to get something from Form Recognizer. Form Recognizer, I'll show it just a bit later, is just a custom model that we have built based on our own documents and our own taxonomy. So we have specified which are the labels we're interested in. So the model is specifically trained to search for such labels, right? Now, in general, Logic App has a lot of connections, and it does have a connection to Form Recognizer, but I'm not using it. We have done something custom here, an HTTP request, which is doing a request to a custom app, a very simple app. And that's because Form Recognizer version 2, which has the capability of doing your own labels, your own taxonomy, doesn't have a connector for Logic Apps yet. So the connector I would find here in the designer for Form Recognizer is for version 1, which has some limited capabilities at this point. So we have chosen to, of course, use the more powerful Form Recognizer, but for that we need to write some code. I expect them to catch up in terms of having a connection in Logic App very soon. The output of my Form Recognizer model is still strongly typed. So these would be JavaScript variables if you want, or it's a JavaScript object that I get from Form Recognizer. And then I have strongly typed variables that I can use further to post into a Teams channel and to add to an Excel file. So this is what the Logic App does. How does it look like? So let me go to the resource group. In terms of Form Recognizer, is just a cognitive service that I need to create in my resource group, and then I have to customize it. I'm going to show it a bit later. That customization is based on some data that I have supplied, which is a container in Blob Storage, in Microsoft Storage, in Azure Storage. Going back to the slides just a bit. So how do I do the custom labeling? I mentioned a few times that I'm doing a custom model with Form Recognizer. I need a separate tool, which can be installed on my machine or can be used as a service. This tool makes me upload or add some files, which are the documents the machine learning model is going to be trained on. And then I can specify the taxonomy, the actual labels that I want to find. And these are some such labels that are found here. Now look at the the highlights here. You see the average accuracy of the model would be 92, 93%, but we have some labels which have a smaller accuracy, like 62%, 87%, and so on. Meaning, whatever we do, it's very hard to get close to 100% accuracy overall, the whole labels, the whole documents. So you will still have some delta of accuracy, right? Even though and I'm going back just a bit, these are the labels that I specified explicitly, right? So I'm telling the model, hey, there are some key value pairs in the documents that you're going to find, and the keys are these. These are the keys that I'm interested in, right? So even though I tell the model to search for it, it's not usually, no, it's very hard to get to 100% because of the quality of the document, because of the position in the document, especially if you have items which exceed a row and then it's all misaligned. So many factors can impact the accuracy. So now you remember why I mentioned before that you still need the human in the loop. You're going to get very good accuracy. More than 90% is very good accuracy, of course, to replace, but not entirely, to partially replace the human in this process. You still need them for validation. And I'm not going to show you the actual results because it's our invoices, so a lot of private information. But this is how it looks like. So I can trigger the flow, the logic app from a Teams channel with a custom app. I click on the button. It will run its magic and append to an Excel file and post some information, the information I'm interested in, into a Teams channel. Okay, so just as a recap, the options that we used, that we've seen. First one is Power Automate with AI Builder and Flow. Simple to use, relatively poor performance, and now I can explain it a bit better. So the accuracy that you're going to find is much lower than Form Recognizer. Going back to Form Recognizer, it's 92%. One of the factors which improves the accuracy is the fact that I specify the taxonomy. I explicitly say, hey, these are the labels I'm interested in. So which brings much better performance. Now, Power Automate usually doesn't have such a good performance and doesn't really allow you to do customization, right? And then we have Form Recognizer V1, which is just mentioned. I didn't use it. It has integration with logic apps, so it would be easier for you to build a logic app flow. It's just a block that you drag and drop on your designer, but it doesn't have custom labels. So the quality of its output would be lower than Form Recognizer V2, which is again better to use. It's lacking the connection for Microsoft Flow and for Logic App, but this is the block that we do. It's a custom HTTP post to a custom app that we have built in less than 2 hours, I think, to get this body, which is the document itself, send it to Form Recognizer, get it back, and respond with a JSON payload. So we have replaced the connector, which is still missing, with minimum effort. So these are the options that we have seen. There are many others, and just as a recap, usually we use documents understanding in a flow or in an RPA scenario. And as I mentioned like 3 times, the human in the loop is still important because we don't have 100% accuracy. So having said that, I think I'm done. Let me see if I have open questions. I don't see questions right now from me. Do you guys see any questions from me? No, right?
Well, I guess we can wrap it up.
Mm-hmm. So thanks for your attention. I'll leave Diana to wrap up the conference.
Yeah, well, I won't have any more slides except this one. What's up next for Cloud Conference? We are planning to hold the main event at the end of September, and most probably it's going to be in a hybrid way, let's say. But we have to see what's going to happen with all the restrictions. So as soon as we know more, we're going to let you know. Well, until then, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure hosting these 3 mini editions of Cloud Conference, and looking forward to see you all at the big event. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.